Yo, it is good, yo. It's your boy Ty back here with another video. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my defensive settings and how to really maximize yourself on the defensive end. Now, I want to say before I go any further that it is super hard to play defense currently in NBA 2K21. I'm struggling with it, so I know if I'm struggling with it, a lot of you guys are as well. And so I've really messed around with a lot of different settings this year. A ton of different settings, trying to figure out how can I play defense. Because what I did last year, I did smother on ball with tight off ball. And I thought that's what it was going to be this year, but if you go tight off ball, what's going to happen is your corner defenders are going to drop inside of the paint. Every single time the guy calls 5 out, gets around to that free throw line area, gets in the paint, it's over with every single time. So it's hard to go tight. So then it's like, do you do auto? What do you do? And I'll break that down in this video. But before we go any further, if you are new to the channel and have not yet, please smash the subscribe button as we're on the road to 35,000 subscribers. So I don't like what I do right now. I will say this, I don't love my defense and how it's played or how I have to play it right now, but it's how I have to play. I have no other choice on the defensive end. If you want to play man-to-man, your on-ball pressure and off-ball pressure have to both be on smother and deny ball. Has to be, because here's the issue. If you go tight, moderate, gap, whatever, then it's gonna be a mess. But I will say, let's say for example, you're playing a guy like Biombo, right? This is just the domination Hornets, but I'm just giving you an example. If you play an inside center, Shaq, Big Ben, anybody like that, then your off-ball pressure can go to gap. Your on-ball pressure, if you want, can go to gap as well. But just assigning it to players that can't shoot if you're up against the Ben Simmons, that's important as well. But anybody that can shoot the ball, your off-ball pressure has to be denied. It has to be. Otherwise, you will get fried like a piece of bacon. Force direction, I've not had any success doing anything with that, so it's just on automatic. On-ball screens are difficult this year. It's difficult, but what I've noticed a lot of right now is there's not a lot of guys in the game outside of, some of the top Pro-Am guys, and they have to have the right cards that can just shoot off of screens. And what I notice is you can't really move with your center in the pick and roll like you could last year, at least at this point in the game, because your center lateral quickness, acceleration, speed, all isn't very high. So I don't mess around with on-ball screen. I usually control the guy that's getting screened. So if if let's say Paul George is getting screened by a center, I'll control Paul George to try to get around that screen. So whoever your lock is on that point guard or whoever, try to control them a lot to get around the screens. But the big thing here is that I've noticed is my hedge. I do no hedge. And here's the thing, my center is going to sit back, and if I get killed by a screen, then I'll have to manually bring him up and just give up a 2. But if you hedge at all, oftentimes I played against Giannis the other night, and he just ran right past me on the roll every single time. I think it was Al Horford who just got killed in a pick and roll because he'd come up way too high, hedge way too hard, and really try to prevent the ball handler, when really most of the time I can get around the screen with my on-ball defender. So hedge, I would say no hedge is the best thing that you can do in a pick and roll situation for your center. Same thing, you can go over, go under, but if you're manually controlling it, I just have that on automatic. I think that's the best thing for you to do. Same thing here with the center. You got a hedge here and then a hedge with the center. It's going to be the same thing. You're not going to hedge at all. So if you wanted to, I guess you could maybe try switching this. Since it's not the center, I don't know how you guys, how people, want to necessarily do that. For me, the only settings I do are no hedge and no hedge for the pick and roll. That is super important because I used to get fried in the pick and roll. When I mean fried, literally gave up so many points to the roll. Now I'm just willing, I'll try my best to get around screens. If I have to pinch from the wing, other places I will. But most often than not, your center staying back is very important, because otherwise you will get killed in the pick and roll. Now this is a situation by situation basis. If you're up against like a super slow center, let's say an Al Horford, and you're running Giannis, you're gonna have more time to recover. So maybe you can be a little more aggressive and stuff like that. But what I've noticed is this setting determines how the defender will guard the screener. Exactly. So you just sit back. You let them be. No hedge and no hedge. That is what I'm having success with. So those defensive settings so far are very important. And I hope you guys are getting my message on why I run these specific settings, because I've tried different stuff. Seeing if they'd work, if they wouldn't work. And same thing here with the stay attached thing. Defenders will stay attached to the screener. If you put it on yes, it limits the success of the pick and pop. If you put it on no, the on-ball defender will have help from the hedge defender. And so This, if you put it on no, is gonna, it's all about the pick and pop. That's really all it is. If they stay attached, you know, then there's really no help from the defender. If you put this on no hedge, the stay attached truly isn't gonna matter, because your defender is going to be way back either way. So I haven't really messed with that, but if that's something you want to mess with, just know what these yes and no to stay attached means before you really adjust that. Off ball screens, I don't do anything with them. You could switch them if you wanted to. I know somebody who did run these basically all the time, and they got open quite a bit off of them. So if you wanted to switch them or go over, go under, that's up to you guys. I just leave that on auto. Same thing with the post. You could, you know, if you wanted to force them a specific way, front them, whatever, you can do all that. I personally just leave it on automatic. The problem is if you front them, it sounds all fine and dandy until you give up 95 offensive rebounds. Double team the perimeter, that's manual. But the one thing I would say, if you run smother and smother, you can't double team. You cannot manually run double teams because 2K is broken. They will not let you send a double team if you run smother and smother. I wish 2K would fix that. They can't, and so that's another reason. If eventually 2K fixes their game, I'm going to move this to tight so I can run double teams. But for now, you have to go deny ball. They don't even give you a choice. If you guys want to put it on tight, you will get fried. Trust me when I say that. Pre-rotate, absolutely, I do not have this on. It's just there's a lot more to do. Now you can do this. You can definitely do this if you want, but I don't feel like it's needed. When the ball is on the wing or in the corner, the lower weak side defender will come over to load up on the strong side. It sounds fine. It sounds easy enough to do, but I haven't messed around with it. That's something I might mess around with just to see if that can maybe help the back cuts and stuff like that, and maybe play some more 2-on-1s. But I leave that on no for now, and then the off ball is just all auto. The next thing I do is I put screen help rules on no help and drive help rules on no help. The less help you have, the better. You know, if you want pre-rotate on and just to help, and you can try that, but the less help, the better for this stage of the game. If they want to, 5 out, and you just got to try to make it difficult. You're not going to be able to help really at all. You just got to try to make it difficult on them, have a good on-ball defender. And that's what I've noticed with Paul George, even in Elgin Baylor, you're going to have a pretty good defender on the court at all times. And if you put these on no help, I mean, you're just really playing one-on-one. That's really what it is. And with a guy with at least gold clamps, it's not going to be easy to score on your team. And other than that, another thing that a lot of people don't do, adaptive coaching engine has to be off. That's the thing. If you do all the defensive settings and leave this on offense and defense, all your settings go out the window. You got to turn this to off, as well as turning your help defense all the way down. They're still gonna help. You're still gonna just have to get through the fact that they will help. And you got to know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. They will help. It's worse in this game than it was last year. But the big thing for me, smother, deny ball, no hedge, and then do no help. That's what I run. This is probably going to change within the next 2 weeks, but this is what I've had the most success with. Yes, you're going to give up back cuts, but you will give up less open threes from the perimeter. Guys, that's going to wrap it up. I know it's a short little informational video, but I hope you guys do find this useful and utilize it for yourselves, guys. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love y'all and have a blessed day.